This project has been one of the most stressful and strenuous, time-consuming, backwards, frustrating projects I've ever done, and honestly, from the bottom of my heart, never do it. Hi guys, and welcome back to part 2 of us trying to get our patio makeover sorted. So in part 1, if you haven't already watched it, I will give you a little quick rundown, but you can go back and watch that one. I will link that in the top right hand section. So you can see we have got this U-shaped patio which we inherited from the previous owners, and it just wasn't making the best use of the sunlight in the spot that it was. So what we wanted to do was to lift all of those up, and we began to dig. I say we, this was all Rob, this was all him, so I can't even take any of the glory for this, but he began to dig up the old grass to give us a clean foundation to work with. And then you will see on the side closest to the house, he began to rip up those old slabs as well, because even though we were going to replace them just as they were so rickety, they were really dangerous, they had so many thick weeds growing through them, and they were just displaced. So you can see the amount of weeds that are sticking out between them anyway, so we thought to pick them up, but they were really heavy. So they're 600 by 600 mil. I think these ones, because of the depth of them, they were like 5 centimeters, they're like 60 kg or just under 60 kg. Okay, then it came to laying the soil flat, and to do this we ended up renting 2 tools from Juicen. Now the first one that you saw is called a rotavator, and this helps to churn the soil, basically chop it all up so that it's easier to squish down, and we rented that for about £55 per 24 hours. And then we also hired the same day a compactor. Now the compactor doesn't work on just mud, it likes to have a bit of a harder surface, so we had to lay down some stones so that it would glide along the top and smooth everything out. And this was £35 to rent for 24 hours, and we got both of them delivered and then collected for £20. But it turns out when we started to try to lay the first slabs, they weren't matching up with the slabs that you can still see in frame. Now, I don't know what possessed us to keep those 2 random slabs down there. I think we thought it would be a good starting point for us, and then we just match it up. Don't do this. We should just have cleared everything out, created our very own square, created our own rules, create our own heights, our own levels, and have it obviously running away from the house. But it proved tough with these slabs that were initially here, and you will see that we laid down a couple of them and it ended up just being a lot of hard work, and we soon realized, okay, we're gonna have to just rip these up and start again. So that's what we did. You may have seen that we had some thick weeds under the foundations as well, so we used my Works Axis tool there to just rip them up, and it was so much easier than trying to pull them or trying to use a handsaw, so totally recommend. So we've put down the weed barrier again, we've put down the sharp sand, and we are starting to get into the flow of things. This was John's idea. He'd seen some labourers do this before for some patio slabs. What they used was just this tool, and you just put some notches either side, that the depth that you want, and then you use that to drag along the rails that you can see that we've made 2 rails either side, and then that is what gives you your smooth surface, and then you can just lay your slabs on top. And honestly, it worked like a dream. It was quite fiddly in terms of it took a while to get it as smooth as we wanted it to be and to make sure everything was level. Of course, we're trying to run this away from the house as well. We don't want any water pooling up towards the side of the house, so we had to make sure that we started a little bit higher at the side of the house and then run downwards. And just to know, every house should have a damp proof coursework, which is like the very bottom of the house, so that any water isn't going to ruin the foundations, but you want to make sure that you're keeping your patio slabs about 1 centimetre away from the house itself so that it can drain freely. Day 1, and we really got into the swing of things. However, the heavens opened and it started to rain, but this was great because it did show us that the rain was pouring away from the house, which is just what we wanted to see. So, blessing in disguise. So it's a couple of days later now. I have taken on the role of cleaning the slabs because some of them that we had were A, extremely dirty, and B, had some cement on the back of them. So I just had to make sure that they were smooth and clean. I also started to put sand down in the section that we were going to move on to, which was where the sun is going to be hitting for most of the afternoon. So this is our prime spot. We again thought we were thinking about everything, but honestly, with a project like this, there are just so many things you're going to run into that are going to cause you issues. If you're not someone that does this for a living and does this day in, day out, I just feel like there's not enough that you can account for. So honestly, if you do think that you're going to try this sort of project, just give yourself plenty of time, and I'm talking weeks, to get this sort of thing done, like weekends, because honestly it did become really disappointing and we were absolutely exhausted, but we just had to keep going. Okay, you can see that we've put some poles in the ground, and this is marking out our perimeter of our new slab section. I know that looks like a lot of sand on the left hand side. For some reason our garden is horrifically uneven. We just had to put so much sand down to make sure that we could get a straight surface. And the same process again, we're smoothing everything out. It was a shame that we didn't have, you know, the compactor or some sort of tool to help us with this, but we just used the same old theory. I would say from smoothing out the sand to getting the wood railings straight, then laying the slabs and making sure that they are level. The whole process for maybe 2 slabs at a time took 15 minutes. It's not a quick and easy job, and I know that sounds relatively quick and easy, but when you've got 50 slabs to lay and they're super heavy, like you can see Rob and his dad lifting 2 at a time every single time, and they were exhausted, bless them. You're gonna laugh, but we had laid 3 slabs and we thought we were onto a winner, and then I stood back and I said, guys, this isn't straight with the previous slabs on the other side, because we had actually put them in line with the garage. We shouldn't have done that. Anyway, we had to pick them up again and start again, and that was at the end of a very long day already. So we decided to pick them up again, and we would just lay one down and create a foundation for the next day and start again the next day. Hi guys, welcome back to the vlog. This project has been one of the most stressful and strenuous, time-consuming, backwards, frustrating projects I've ever done, and honestly, from the bottom of my heart, never do it. Never do patio yourself that requires the big council slabs that we're putting down. They're like big, thick, concrete, 60 by 60 slabs. They are so incredibly difficult to move. They slow everything down. Trying to get the sand level has been such an issue. I can't even take credit for literally any of this. Like, I've basically been, Rob's dad John was calling me the quartermaster, which apparently by definition is someone who kind of like looks after stuff, is a bit like the manager, I guess. I've been project manager for sure. I don't have the strength to lift a lot of the slabs, although I'm going to have to find that strength because we've got 2 more rows to finish and I need to help Rob. I have been the coffee girl, the fizzy drinks girl, the sweets, the lunch times, the dinners, the do you want a cup of tea, the is there anything I can do for you girl. Also, I have been the guys, I don't really want to make it a big deal because it's not a big deal, but it doesn't really look straight. I think we might have to lift that one and relay it. I've been that person, and It's taken me a lot to not be really pedantic and perfectionist on this, because I usually am, but knowing that this is a temporary solution, I've had to just let that all go. It's not perfect, but it is fantastic. The work that the guys have done, honestly, can we give a little round of applause to Rob and John? I'm gonna go show you how we look and give a little bit of an update. Let's go outside. This is what we're looking like. We have got patio A over this side. The initial vision is I want to make this a really pretty corner with like pots of lavender and other flowers. Have the little bistro set here so that we can come out in the morning and have a little cup of tea. I can maybe do my work here when it's a little bit of a cooler morning, and obviously it sides on the other side of the patio doors, so I want this part to look pretty so that when you look out from the garden you just see pretty stuff. And could even probably like hook pergola lights, because we do have some of those as well. The only thing is we don't have a plug outside in the garden at the moment, but that's fine. Then if we move on to this section here, so this is going to be our fire pit area. I don't know why, I've just got this like this want and need to make this in particular the fire pit area. We've got a really lovely square one that's going to sit in the middle here, maybe more towards this section just so it's away from the trees. That was another really good point that someone made. On video maybe the space looks a little bit smaller, especially when I'm not in situ. Like this is how far back the trees are, and if I were to have the fire pit all the way out here, it's a very small controlled fire. There's not going to be any risk. Fingers crossed, touch wood. Got a couple of small stools and some smaller chairs and maybe like outdoor bean bags and stuff that we could put. And I just think in the evenings, what a vibe. Once the sun has gone down, it's still warm, we've got blankets on, we've got the fire pit going, we've got the patio heater on, toasting marshmallows and chocolate biscuits, and just I just imagine sitting around the fire pit with some of my girls just like laughing and joking, and that's all I want. So in order to make this happen, we've got the fire pit, but we need the stone. Again, in the last video I asked you guys what colour should I do. So in my head I was either thinking of a bit of a bigger pebble style stone, which would be a white stone, or like the flat and smaller slate stones that you get, which are like a grey purple colour. Most of you guys said the white would be so pretty, but they don't stay white, and especially if this is going to be the fire pit area, I doubt that it's gonna stay white with all of the smoke, soot, ashes and all of that stuff. Thinking that we're going to lean more towards darker stone colours, purple, grey, black. Moving into the final section. So I keep referring to this as the dance floor. Like every time I look at it, it just screams dance floor to me, which I love. I think it's such a cute little vibe that it's over here. I actually like the fact that it doesn't match up. Like there's not just one huge patio going down here, because that feels a bit like, bleh, a bit too grey, a bit too miserable. Whereas if we've got the fire pit going in the middle, separate section here, we could quite easily make this dance floor. Whilst it's not the dance floor, this is going to be the place to sit in the sun, because as I said, the sun hits this spot for most of the time during the day. Got an L-shaped sofa, which I think will take up this back corner. We've got a circle like swivel chair. Yeah, I'm excited for this, because even now it's 11 o'clock in the morning, the sun is here, so it's starting to creep in here, but can you see this shadow? So as the sun moves round, this shadow disappears, and then the light is here for the whole rest of the day, which is so lovely. Oh my gosh, I was about to sit on this. It is absolutely, okay, this one's not so bad, but that table is boiling. My God, my bum. I was so gassed. I thought we would have been finished this last Sunday at the very latest. It's now Thursday, and you've seen the extent of which we've gotten done. Don't underestimate this kind of project. Garden projects always take so long. To be honest, all projects take so long. Obviously this isn't the video that I foresaw. I foresaw us having the patio done, me having built all the furniture, gotten it on there, maybe gotten some flowers in place, and started to enjoy it, started having pizza parties, barbecues, but that's just not in the timing this time round, which is fine. We've made really good progress, but what I'm saying is gonna have to come back for a part 3 because I'd rather get this video out to you guys now and give you something to watch and show the true struggles of projects. Like I could quite easily cut this all out and pretend that we just you know, got it done first time round, and there were no issues. But there are so many issues, and I want you guys to know these sorts of things and give you the heads up before you start anything like this. I would hate for you to watch one of my videos and be like, oh, that was so easy, I'm gonna go do that, and then get yourself into a load of troubles and knockbacks and end up spending more money. Sorry, the camera got really hot outside in the sun and it wouldn't record, so I've had to bring it in and let it cool down a little bit. But what I was saying was I want it to be really authentic to you guys, so that if you do ever want to try any of the projects that me and Rob try our hands at, that you know what the possible stress points are, things that can go wrong. You're maybe able to make a little bit more of a realistic judgment of how much you're going to spend, how long it's going to take, how it's going to look at the end. I thought it's best off that we just leave it all in, even though in my head I'm like, no, don't do it, it's such a boring video. But I know you guys appreciate seeing all of it, so I'm trusting that you're going to want to see this as well. However, I have had some really exciting deliveries, so I'm going to stop recording here and I'm going to start the next video, and that's going to be us unboxing some gorgeous new dishware for outdoors, so that when we do come to have our little garden parties, I'm going to be the hostess with the mostess. It's going to be looking gorgeous. With that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I know it wasn't what we expected, but the twists and turns, this is what life entails. If you did enjoy it and you're not yet subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me and it helps push videos out further, so that more people can watch them and enjoy them, and we can build a little community over here. Hit the notification bell so that you don't miss when I upload, because I'm pretty scattered with that, so just so that you're always up to date, hit the notification bell, and go and follow me over on my other socials as well. I'm very much back on my Instagram _home of Sade, and over on my TikTok too, home of Sade. I'm trying to upload. Have a fantastic day, weekend, week, whatever's going on, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Mwah.